So hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Amesie's Corner. How are you all doing out there? So I've got something a little different planned for today. So as you guys know, I go trail truck hiking with the remote control trail trucks. It's been a while since I've taken you guys out on an adventure, so I think today is a good adventure. It's a good topic for that. So I was out, it's almost July. We're just about the last week of June right now, and I'm gonna say late March, April, let's call it early April. I came out hiking to the trails I normally go, and I came across two abandoned kayaks. Of them. I thought maybe just someone got in over their heads, walked out, we're going to come back out for the kayaks. And it's now just about July, and those kayaks are still out there. The other day, I was just going through social media, looking through Facebook, and I came across a picture from someone I had grew up across the street from in the little town I used to live in, Byfield. And they had a picture of a kayak on some rocks, and it's a very distinctive looking kayak. It looks almost like H.R. Geiger was left to design a kayak. The guy that, created Aliens movies said, hey, let's design a kayak. And he made a kayak. It's really weird shape to it. It's got fake, air intake. I don't know. We'll see it a little later. But I saw a picture of the kayak, and I instantly recognized it as a kayak out in the woods. And I left this message saying, hey, that looks a lot like these kayaks I found out in the woods. And then I took the picture off of the internet, off the Facebook, and I zoomed in on it, and I saw a sticker on the back behind the seat. And I said, well, damn, that's that kayak. So I said, hey, did you leave that out and whatever on Crane's Pond? And the person said, no, those were stolen off of Plum Island 3 years ago. And I'm like, well, hey, it happens to be next to a whitewater kayak. And then she sent me a picture of that other kayak. So I went out earlier today. I left right from that bridge right over there. I don't know if you can see it. And I went out to scout them and see if they're still there. And yeah, they're there. The drone flight drew about probably a mile from the bridge out to where they are, and they're still there. That was this morning. So I figured I'd return those kayaks, and I figure it's a great time to do a little trail truck adventure. I don't think you guys have seen the Traxxas TRX4 yet. Really cool little truck right here. Yeah, really cool trail truck. 2-speed transmission, lockable front and rear diffs right from the remote, 3-channel or 4-channel remote. And yeah, I was out here that same day. I had looked at those 2 weeks ago. I had come out here and I found a trail that I never knew existed. Now, this is the landing, and every time that I've taken you guys out on a kayak adventure out in the Parker River, we looked for the lost electric kayak a few years back that's still out there. This is where I would have gone in. Now, to hike to those kayaks is pretty tough. It's a pretty tough trail. And it comes up to some railroad beds that we used to go off of. And I never knew there was a way to get from this landing to that set of trails to get to Crane's Pond. And there happens to be a trail off of this landing that for some reason I never really thought to explore. I actually went from the other way and found the trail that leads to here. It was kind of like a mind-blowing moment to be able to get from this landing where we can go kayaking and hike out to all the hikeable areas. So what that means is me finding this trail means it's going to be real easy for me to bring those kayaks out. It means I can go in this way, we can trail truck hike in this way, and then paddle out the kayaks to right there and save these kayaks. So I got my backpack, got my paddle, because there's no paddle with them, or whatever it is. So yeah, why don't we suit up, load up, and hit the trail and see if we can bring these things home for them. Uh-oh, time to break out the winch. Wow, it's definitely humid out. A little bit rainy, a little bit humidity. About halfway there right now. The trail's pretty grown in, as you guys probably saw on the little segments there. But I figure I just ran down the battery in the TRX4 here, the Defender. So I think it's time to put a new battery in. I figure I'd show you guys some of the cool stuff going on with this little truck. If you're going to get into trail trucks, this is definitely a good place to start from Traxxas. The TRX4. They got a few different trim levels of this truck. They got like the Defender in a couple different colors. They've got a tactical unit, they call it, like a military truck, and they've got a really cool Ford Bronco, first gen or second gen rather, for Ford Bronco, really cool. But I got this one kind of early on. Some things I've got done to it. I've got the Viterra Ascender Super Swamper wheels and tires. I think they work better than the factory ones do, but that's pretty much the only upgrade I've done to it. Yeah, the body's held on, old school, 4 little spring clips there, and underneath the body we got a nice and muddy from that mud pit there, but you got a 540 motor in the front, your typical brushed motor, brush speed control. The receiver is inside this waterproof box, and all the servos are waterproof, so this thing can and has been put completely underwater on numerous occasions. We can see 3 servos here, and the 4th one up here. The servos for the steering. Really, real scale 4-link setup. The servo here is on this rocker here. That is that's first gear. That's second gear. You actually got to move it a little bit. She'll snap into first and second. You got 2 servos over here with cables. Really cool. They have actual cables that go to each differential, and you can lock the front or both, or unlock both. Isn't that cool? How cool is that? So you can have unlock differentials. Let me spin 2 wheels, and then I will lock them both. It's a toggle switch right up here, 3-position toggle switch. And now with them locked, just like the real thing, locked right up. You can see those cables go in right there and right there. Really, really cool. Real cool 4-link rear suspension, 4-link front suspension. Little unscaled wood here and there. Also, this truck has, which they can't say enough of, is portal axles. It actually has portal axles, kind of like a Unimog would have had. And that lets you have a really lower or higher gearing on the drive shaft, so they take less load, and all the torque is really transferred at the hub, so you don't have any body roll, and your drive shafts don't wear out nearly as fast. You can kind of see. Woohoo! Get a little on, you guys. Yeah, so really fun little truck. If you're going to get into remote control or back into remote control, I definitely recommend the Traxxas TRX4. I'm running big batteries. These are batteries that would have come on my, or with my Snap-on X-Maxes, but they're not the best batteries. These first early gen or Traxxas batteries, you can see this one's not very old and it's puffing up a bit, and the newer batteries don't have that problem. But anyways, guys, yeah, enough talking about the truck here. We got a little bit ways to go. I gotta getting eaten alive by the bugs, even though I got my favorite bug spray with me. I've just been applying it, and they've still kind of eaten me alive. But it is what it is, guys. All right, we got to get back on this trail. Enough chit-chat. And there they are. Tell you, it's a long way. It's a long way to walk out after coming out here on some kayaks. But here they are, guys. Now this is the kayak that is very distinctive What a design, huh? With those weird faux air intakes. Coleman kayak. And there it is. There is the sticker that told me that this was the kayak from that picture. And this is the one that led me to the owner. Very distinctive kayak. If H.R. Geiger was to design a kayak, I think this is what he designed, except maybe like a black, sheeny, metallic, organic look to it. And here is the other one that they sent me a picture of. Looks like someone rode a dirt bike on it. But yeah, pretty much an indestructible unit right there. But that's the kayak that she sent me the picture of, and these are definitely her kayaks. Amazing. They were stolen about 3 years ago from Plum Island. That's you know, not very far away, but it's a long way for two kayaks to end up. But yeah, the next phase is I gotta figure out how to connect these two kayaks together so that I can then paddle them out that way. You guys saw from that drone footage, we were right above here, right up there, and you gotta kind of get an idea of the snaky route that we gotta go to get out of here. So I'm gonna relax a little bit. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break, cool down. I'm gonna hopefully evict all the things living in these. That's all I need is to get a spider bite out here. But that reminds me, I want to show, it looks to me like someone came out here and had a real bad time. And the reason I say that is this is full of these reeds here. Now, these reeds, in order to get loaded up with reeds like this kayak would have had to have tipped over somewhere. The river's way over there. They would have had to have gone way around the backside. I think whoever took those kayaks and brought them out here, got in a little over their head in that whitewater kayak and went over out there. Because there are none of those reeds anywhere on the pond. But if you go way back and around an island over there, you kind of come up to them. Someone went over on these kayaks. I'd say both of them. I think both had reeds in them. Maybe not this one as bad. But yeah, whoever was in that kayak, they definitely fell over. And when you fall over in a kayak out in this area, there is nowhere to stand up to get back into the kayak. So they probably had a hell of a time just getting them back into here and hoofed it out of here and said the hell with it. They're going to leave these stolen kayaks right where they lie. And that's where we come in, guys. We got to bring these things home. Awesome. Whew. Boy, I decided to tow one of them out. It's just so buggy out in those woods today. I didn't really want to paddle all the way. Then have to hike back out and paddle another one. I figure we're out here. Let's bring them both. So, boy, it was kind of tough getting into the channel here. You can see it's really narrow. I don't know if I hold you guys up. You can see the pond over there or not. But we're just right inside of the tributary to the Parker River and to Crane's Pond. You'll see above us, we had the drone right above this. This is that snaky, bendy, really tough to navigate spot. I'm hoping I'm not going to have too much trouble. I think the worst of it was just getting to here. But yeah, I do a little more filming back here, but the wind's blowing pretty hard, and I got to keep my hands on the paddle when I'm moving, or this other kayak kind of blows me all over. Boy, it's definitely a workout to tow these things out. But yeah, TRX4 is just my hood ornament sitting there. I got my backpack in that one. But let's go. We got to get these things out of here and get on with our day. Come on, buddy. Get over here. It's tough towing a kayak with a kayak in tight places like this. Whew. Come on, buddy. Let's go. Let's go. I know you're used to the white water back there, but enjoy the ride, please. Almost home. Almost there. There we are. Mission success. And there's the truck. There we are. Haha. Awesome. Wow, guys, that was a little bit more work than I anticipated. The hike in wasn't too bad other than the bugs. But man, trying to paddle these two out through that narrow channel. Boy, my arms are burning. Well, it's all for a good deed. This is my good deed for the day, my good deed for the weekend. Now I just got to figure out how to get these things loaded into the truck and bring them to our house. It's funny, they were stolen from Plum Island, but as the crow flies, she bought a house. The person who actually rightfully owns these kayaks probably lives 3/4 of a mile from here. Who would have thought? Kayaks stolen from probably 15 miles, 10-15 miles away, ended up in pretty much her backyard. Go figure, go figure. If it wasn't for the unique design of this one and Facebook, these things would probably sit out there, probably end up getting burnt in a fire or something. Alright guys, I gotta get these things loaded up. I'm all loaded up in here, and like I said, she only lives about 3/4 of a mile away. I'm gonna go drop them off in her yard and complete my good deal for the day, for the weekend. Well anyways guys, thumbs up, much appreciated. Question and comments down below. On that note, and until next time guys, keep it out of the cabbage.